Hello everyone, this is Mehak Upadhyay. Welcome back to our channel. Today I am going to discuss on the topic or on the definition of immovable property as defined under Transfer of Property Act. First thing, Transfer of Property Act didn't define the immovable property at all. It's just a section. It's just section 3 of that act of Transfer of Property Act says anything which can be moved except the standing timber, grasses and crops are included in the definition uh, of immovable property. So from where we can say what what these things that cannot be moved are as defined as per the terms of the Transfer of Property Act. So for this we have General Clauses Act 1897 section 3 subsection 26 which defined immovable property as land benefits to arise out of lands and things attached to the earth or permanently fastened to anything attached to the earth. This further the Registration Act says the same, that anything uh, that an immovable property includes the land, benefit arising out of the land, things attached to the land. Things attached to the land includes two or three things. First thing is anything which is attached to the land, attached to the means as in as in houses, walls, thus anything embedded in the structure permanently fastened to the earth, attached to the earth means embedded in the earth. It means like fans, tube lights, these all the things are embedded in the earth. So but it excludes the standing timber, it excludes the grasses, it excludes the fish, it excludes the crops. Okay, so we'll discuss these things one by one. What is standing timber? Timber timber is the wood that is used for the construction purpose. That wood is not meant for edible fruits, that are not meant for producing some to get the benefit out of that fruit. Standing timber trees are not for are used for the purpose of constructions. So such trees which are to be meant for the purpose uh, of using as a timber are considered as movable property. But the condition too is the timber tree should be of the mature age, soon to of should be a mature age or in the condition to be used as a timber, is to be used soon, within a reasonable time as a timber. And third, it should be it should be grown with the intention to be used as the timber. If any of the condition is not filled up, immature plant that is not at the age or not at the age of using as a timber is not considered as immovable property within the definition of standing timber. So a timber tree would be considered as a standing timber if is grown with the intention of being used as a timber, is at the is of the age, is in the condition to be used as one, and third is to be used soon within the reasonable time. Next is we have is grass, that unwanted crops. We know crops, we know they are meant to be cut within a reasonable time as soon as they are mature enough to be used as foods, grains, etc. Then we have lands. Land include the soil above everything above the land, everything below the land using the minerals are considered as land. Land is not a movable property, it is a immovable property. Then what is the benefits arising after? Consider we have a house built on a land. Obviously a house is built on a land. We have rented that house, tenants are living, we are getting a fixed amount monthly, on the monthly basis, as rent from as rent or mortgage or from that house. So that money we are getting from that, from the tenants who are enjoying the house, is the benefit arising out of the land or the benefit arising out of the house. So for the owner, that benefit, that monetary benefit, would also be a immovable property. So if a person sell the house, if the person sell the house, on a mortgage even, then then he only transfer his interest, not total interest but some interest in the property, so he's transferring it. So that would be done by a registered deed within the meaning of the Transfer of Property Act. If a land have ponds, then the fisheries inside it, and if person is catching those fisheries, taking them out, selling them, then it would be used, then it would be considered as a benefit arising of the land, benefit from the pond, which is an immovable property. Then we have land, things attached to the land. Things attached to the land means first things are the house that is attached to the land, or we can say the machines that are attached to them. We have two categories things attached to the lands, that for example submersible, that is attached to the end, and things embedded in the land means that microwave or the structure. You can say the tube light holders, the fence, painting, ceilings, etc., windows. These all are the things embedded in the land. So these two have two categories. Both are governed by the same. First thing we see is whether the thing is whether the thing can be removed without the destroying the property, without destroying the nature of the land. Then we will see for how long how long they are to be fixed there. Third, we see by whom they are being placed. If the thing is of the nature, then it can be removed easily. It is a chattel, not a fixture. If it is of a nature that cannot be removed easily without destroying the land, then we will see for how long it is to be fixed there. If it is fixed for a comparatively long time, like 20 years, like 20 years, the time would be a matter of contemplation, when it is the tenant. If the thing is fixed, either it is fixed easy, it can be removed easily, or it can be removed by destroying the nature of the land. It is always a fixture for the side of the owner, on the part of the owner. But if it is done by the tenant, then we will see for how long the thing is there. If it is for 6 months, then the whole purpose of the tenant is to get the benefit, out of the thing embedded or thing attached to the land, not of the complete land. If it is done for a comparatively long time, like 20 years, if a person has a mortgage for 20 years, then the things he embedded during this time period, the things he will attach to the land, in the walls, in the windows, for this time period, would be considered as a fixture. And if the tenant would remove the fixture by destroying the property, then he should be giving a compensation to the owner. Or if the owner refused to get that thing out of the wall, then the owner, he himself is to be pay is can be made to pay tenant the price of this thing. So that's all about the immovable property. Hope you like the video. Do comment, share, and like the video, and subscribe our channel. Thank you.